Hello, welcome to Rebuild DeFiChain. Today is Saturday evening, 20 o'clock, 8 p.m. prime time. The best time to present community projects to you. That's the format here. If you like the show, then let's go crazy on the like button. Press the bell button on the YouTube channel that you will not miss any further show here. And then we can jump in with a new project here in the space. Okay, not really new, a few weeks are already live, but new here on this channel. I say welcome to Ruben and his project DeFiChain Trader. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm
So,
glad to be here and show off my project.
yep. So I think we can learn a lot about your project, what you built in the past weeks or months. I don't know when it really started. I observed your project for sure. You also had a CFP in the past, which was not approved. Now you have another one running. Yeah, you are still active. You want to provide some value to the community. And I'm now looking forward what you have prepared here and show us, yeah, from the scratch.
Yeah, sure. Maybe first, it's quite an old project, at least I would think. And my first CFP did get accepted.
Okay.
Um, then there was another one that got rejected. Now there's another one for maintenance that's live. I'm going to show it off, and then you can decide if it should be maintained or not. I guess. Let's
Okay.
find out. You can see it right now, the application.
I have to switch the screen. Here we are. Okay. Now we see your application. What is it?
Yeah, so basically it's somewhat comparable to, I guess, DeFi Live for the people that know it, but it's more focused on search, uh, on doing DEX swaps in particular, and it has some neat functionality, I guess, to make trading easier, to do some tracking, keeping track of your trades, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so what I would like to show off first is, for example, if I have an address here, what people usually do, and what I guess is very nice about this application, is you can add your own. My usual keyboard. So now I have basically created a list of my own addresses,
Hmm.
uh, and then I could filter on those. Apologies to the person that owns this address. It's it's not on purpose, but then you can filter and see all your own, for example, your own swaps throughout time, your liquidity transactions throughout time, and your loans throughout time. And yes, the benefit here is that you could actually do some additional filtering. So if you go to swaps, for example, we could say I did a lot of tiny transactions that I don't care about. Obviously, I'm going to.
$1,000 starting.
It's actually not working. The keeper there. It's
Okay.
I can't type the zero. I don't know what's. Well, the nine does work. I guess that's fine
Okay.
as well. Okay, not on this address.
Hmm.
So I guess this address does mostly small transactions, or
Hmm.
not that many. As you can see, we have only one that has the input above about $200,
Hmm.
which you can see here. It was actually around $830, and then we also displayed in DUSD, which is beneficial for those people that are actually trading stocks or these stocks. They usually want to know it in DUSD, and they don't care about the dollar value here because they don't actually exit to the dollar very frequently.
Hmm.
But then I could also say, for example, let's look at recent transactions. So that would be, okay, so only one transaction was done on this day.
Hmm.
which is also very useful. But then what I could also do if I, for example, take, let's say, about a week or so. So now we have multiple transactions, and I want to have some statistics on what went on. We can see here that some DeFi was sold, no DeFi was bought, some DUSD was bought, no DUSD was sold. So basically, from this, we can already tell that this person was selling DFI for DUSD. And here you have then a more detailed breakdown, and let's leave this for later. I could also export to CSV if I want to. I'll go ahead.
I just want to summarize that I understand it correct. So the focus here is searching on the DEX, on the pools, which swaps are done. You can filter particular addresses. You can also have the complete pool scanning and have a look what are the big trades. That's also possible, right? If you now remove the filter for the address, then you have the complete pool.
Yeah, right. So now it's indeed all the transactions that were done.
And yeah, that's just for analyzing how are people trading, how are specific addresses trading, what are they doing. The one or other address is known in the community, the one or other whale, and then you can have a look and look, okay, what is he doing, and maybe find out why. Is this the intention of the tool?
Yes, definitely. That's also a lot of people actually, they don't add their own addresses, or not just their own addresses, but they have whales here or other addresses of interest. And then what they do is they go to the same spot, and then they select their favorite whale. I have some as well that I follow. And then you can just see what they have been up to the past few days, weeks, minutes. It's also good to know it updates. Well, it's not live, but it updates automatically. So if you do a new search, and there are new transactions, then they will be present here shortly after the block has been minted. And I guess one of the more powerful features here is that you can actually also, for example, check very specific swaps, so DFI to Apple. But you could also check all the transactions where DFI was either sold or bought. So this is very useful to see both sides of the. So here we see DFI to Bitcoin, DUSD to DFI, Ethereum to DFI. So it's either on the left side or the right side. We see DFI here.
Okay. Can you now put in here a certain amount as a minimum? This $2,000 or something like that? Just be curious, or yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can combine all of the filters basically that are present on the screen. So you could also have an output filter, which is just the same kind of filter, but then on the output here you can also have a range, which is also sometimes it's interesting to find a particular transaction you know is in a certain range, but you don't know the
when it happened. Yeah.
It is very specific, but you see it does work.
Yeah, okay.
And it's a niche kind of thing, but it does work. And here you can actually input an address, a block height, or a transaction ID. So if I were to put in from here, for example, the transaction ID.
Great.
But there's only one, because we have all these filters plus the transaction ID, which is of course only going to match this particular transaction. It could also be, and we should remove this one. I guess we should remove all the filters. For example, a particular block could also be interesting if you know it's an interesting one. And we only see transactions in this block, and then this gets more interesting because you can then see the statistics for this particular block. So you see what's bought, what's sold, and what's even better. I think this would be better without the block filter. Let's say we take the past 2 days or so, And now this is very well hidden by me, but if you are willing to find it, you can find the actual breakdown by address. So it's bought and sold, but then it's also by address for a particular token. So here we can see that this was the top seller of DFI to USDT, for example. And with this, you can do a lot of analysis and also check if you're doing any trades, if you're done trading everything back, for example. I frequently use it for this purpose.
Great. Okay.
Was it clear so far?
That was fine. Yeah. So a lot of options. Yeah, to make the search in a way you want to search. And it depends on your purpose, what you want. Are you searching for a whale? Are you searching for a trading volume of a specific pool? Are you interested in what happened in a certain time range? That was now a very textual representation. Do you also have some graphs or that something like that on your website?
Yeah, I do have some graphs. So, for example, you could click the icon here, which would summon a graph into existence for this particular trade. Well, not this trade specifically, but just the token.
Okay.
So this is also always one Bitcoin then to USDC. At least that's how it's calculated in the background, and then, or I mean, one Bitcoin to USDC in this case, and you can see it's about 27,000 USDC right now. You could change the time frame here. You even have one block time frames, which could be very useful sometimes. Which of course is broken for some reason.
Okay, that are now the candlestick charts based on the pool ratios, but not only one pool ratio, you are also combining the one or other, because here I see directly from BTC to DUSD, which is a composite swap. Then you are combining the pool ratios to see how the price looks like, correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's a composite swap is also possible. So it's a combination of pool ratio here and past transactions in this direction are also plotted here. And then the average price is taken and it's also displayed. Well, it's combined into the candle basically. And if you want to have a graph without searching for it in the overview, you could also find them here. And then maybe to explain why there are all these buttons here with different icons. Basically, I guess for those maybe that don't know, you can have multiple paths sometimes to get to a certain token. So in this case, it's always sorted best to worst. So the best path is at the front here, and you can see here that it's going through these two pools.
Okay, and the worst path is now?
That's
Or
actually the direct path
pool.
is the worst path. And that's very dangerous because I think this is still the case for at least the full nodes. You can do some things to avoid this path, but I think it's the default path. So that's why I put a skull in front of it, because if you don't take care, you could accidentally swap carelessly from DUSD to USDT, and then you get the worst path, which is not the case for composite swaps. Where there is no direct path, they will actually find the best path, as far as I know, automatically. That's basically the reason for the buttons. And this is then the most complex case where you can actually go all the way around from and to the same token. You can see a lot of pools here. That's because we have the Euro C. Well, maybe I shouldn't go into this, but you can do some complicated stuff and plot it on the graph and figure out if your trade is worth it or not right now.
Yeah, and this is including the fee, right?
It's including the fee.
That's why the result is less than one. So you are trading a kind of circle, this DUSD to DUSD. You're going through different pools, and at the end the result is smaller than one because of the fee. And I think
Yes.
that's then a great tool maybe in the future when we are moving into kind of premium, where the one or other pool has a higher value for the USD than one, then you see a kind of arbitrage. Or can I find arbitrage path here?
You can find arbitrage. So let me think. I
DUSD
mean,
to DUSD?
let me show you some arbitrage because that's been going on as well. It's weird. It's typing the. Let's do it like this. For example, DeFi to DeFi has been known to
Mm-hmm.
have been arbitraged, and then we can see. So this is basically arbitrage where they swap DeFi to DeFi and get more DeFi. I mean,
Mm,
can you imagine?
yeah,
Uh, it could be that it's not the best path right now. Let me see if I can find one. We should have because I so this one
yeah,
is
this one. Yeah,
close, but there were a few that were actually the Euro C pools were I mean insane. But this is not the tool that makes it easy to find them. So here you can see when it started. It started out. Uh, okay, it seems crazy, but the thing here is you actually can put a lot of volume through it.
yeah.
So initially these were arbitraged with very small amounts. But I did see some DFI to DeFi swaps, for example, that went times two in output, which is kind of crazy, even more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Okay,
it calmed down a bit.
that's great. So if you want to learn more about the DEX, about our pools, which kind of ways you can go, you can use your graphs, select the different um, percentage values to see how the one or other path looks like.
Yeah, so this is another example. I mean, it's more obvious here.
Yeah,
Actually, went close to crazy stuff.
that's
Um,
that's great. Yeah, because it's including all fees, correct? So
it's including.
it's the net value.
Yeah, maybe I can best show that here in another feature where you can like your own little swaps. Let's keep this. So basically, what I've done now, I'm simulating my swap against whatever is the current block. So this is live, what you see here, this
Mm-hmm.
table. But then we could actually break it down, which is also a new feature in the search. But here you see the same paths we saw in the graph. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
here you can see for some of the, well, you can see the pools they go through, and you can also see the fees. And this is how the number like 30.6, those numbers are created by adding these fees together. So minus 30 for the destabilization fee, some commissions. Uh, yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's it. Just commissions.
great. Cool.
Uh,
So
yeah.
it looks like I have to spend some time to learn every feature on your website because there are a lot of them. And yeah, who should use it? Who should use your project, your website? What would you say?
Honestly, I don't know. I've been trying to figure out how accessible I should make it because I did notice people using it, but they didn't actually use it. If you know what I mean. So
Mm,
they used the surface level features, but it made me very sad to see they couldn't. Uh, it does require some knowledge about DeFiChain, I would say.
yeah,
So if you're going to use it, uh, you're not going to use all of the functionality to. Well, you're going to use. Yeah, you're not going to find it or even think about it. I think of most of the things you can do on here,
hmm,
they're not relevant for a new user. So you need to have some awareness about the pools, how they work, how the paths for swapping work. I
yeah,
guess the concept of even having whales move the pools and that sort of stuff. I mean, why would you even watch your whale? Why would you want to have watch your own address? I mean, if you only swap like once a week on your light wallet, I mean, this is not going to be for you. You need to do some amount of trading, or maybe you do some accounting on here every month or so. I can also imagine something like this.
So not a beginner. They are just using light wallet, press swap, and that's it. A little bit more advanced users understanding. Okay, there are different pools. Maybe I can search for paths. There are different fees. How does it work? What will be the result if I swap a certain amount? Maybe here a question: are you also taking into account your own pool movement? So if you are trading now bigger amounts, 100,000 DFI,
Yes,
is
I
this
do.
also reflected?
Well, yeah, it is reflected, of course, in here because this is the correct output amount, but also on here it does take into account slippage. So let's demonstrate it. That's all wrong. For example, what would be an easy one? Let's, I guess, swap to USDs. I'm going to need to scroll because the U is not working as well. It's not my laptop, by the way. It's only for this demonstration. Um, can we make it max? I mean, this doesn't really show off to people. I should do swaps maybe. How can I show this off easily? Yeah, I should then.
Okay.
What people usually do, they create two swaps, for example. Then you can actually see the difference. Maybe I can do this.
Okay.
There's more to show. So perhaps if you're interested in showing or checking on slippage, I can explain to you how, but maybe not for this demonstration.
Yeah.
It would be
Okay.
too much of a hassle.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Good. What are the plans with your project? So you raised now a CFP for maintaining, means you want to let it run like it is.
Yes.
Keep it running, adding new pools if new pools are added.
Well, actually, I don't have to do anything because it's automated. So
Okay.
yeah, unless there is some change in the client where I need to reindex some stuff, or maybe somehow the outputs of certain swaps have changed. I don't know, that kind of stuff. Apart from that, I don't have to. It just works most of the time.
Okay.
Maybe show off a few more features. One or two. Do you think we have time for this?
Yeah, sure. Couple of minutes are left.
So just so you know, there's a CSV download here. It's places your transactions into the comma separated file. Well, let's leave this to load. Okay, well, there it is. Looks a bit like this. You can do it for loans.
I think you just shared the web browser. We don't see.
You don't see it. Okay, well, you can download your transaction. That's basically my point. And then one other feature is you can set up notifications here just by clicking. And it's based on your filters. So if I have DFI to DFI, the Y doesn't work. So DFI. You can see here, click start. Oh, actually, you can see it, I guess. No, you can see it, of course.
No, we cannot see it, but I'm using this feature, so I personally know it because I'm tracking the one or other address, and then you are getting push notifications on Telegram if there is a swap. So I'm tracking bigger swaps. I want to be informed if someone is really moving the Bitcoin pool, and then you can configure here the filter, and then just get informed if the one or other drops 10 BTC, for example.
Yeah, for example, I use it for the same reason, and then my own addresses, some bots I have, and then that kind of stuff. They're just useful to get notifications for. And then this is I think the last thing I should highlight.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically the mempool, so this is incoming transactions. So as they come in before they are even put into the block, so some of them may not be confirmed in the end, but you can preview them. Honestly, personally, I don't use this too often because I either use it. Well, my bot sees it, and I don't have to see it. That's usually the case. But I do know a lot of people like to watch here, especially if they're doing sometimes sensitive trading, to see what their competition is doing. Are they going to make it? Are they the first into the
Yeah.
mempool? That's that kind of stuff.
And that's an interesting block, I think, the next one. Here, the set oracle data means that's an update of the oracles for the D tokens. It's not in every
Yes.
block, I think. It's just once every
Uh,
10 minutes or something like that.
yeah, but I think it's well. Actually, I have it filtered out on my actual working station, so I don't know. But I think it happens quite frequently, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not.
Okay.
Different oracles do it in different blocks, I would say,
Ah.
but I'm not certain
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because I have it like this, so I don't see them. So I usually filter out all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Most
Okay.
people just look at the pool swaps, unless there is some event going on, crazy event, then they're going to look at the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then here you can, yeah, unhide them if you need to, but some of them should be hidden. Would be my recommendation.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Mm.
Any further feature you want to show today?
No, I think this is it's a good point to stop. Also, most of the features have been, yeah, they have been. You've seen them, maybe not in all their detail,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's good enough like this.
Okay. Then I switch to the other screen back. Then we see you more. Okay, then first of all, thanks for showing us your project. If someone wants to reach you out, what is the best way to get in contact with you? Twitter?
Um, well, Telegram would be even better. I have a Telegram group, and
Mm-hmm.
it's on the website as well under About. So if you just go there, click on the link, and then you can join. You can also find my Twitter there, and the project is open source. So
Mm-hmm.
click the GitLab link, download it, put up your own version of DeFiChainTrader.com so I can retire. I mean, uh, yeah, just a suggestion.
Okay.
Not that I intend on retiring, but you
Yeah.
can do it. It's all open source there. And also, if you want to use anything that's in there, I mean, it's fine by me.
Mm-hmm.
I
If
don't, yeah, I don't mind.
someone if someone has ideas for improvement, can he or she contact you or just do it?
You can contact me. You can also contribute, I guess, to my project directly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, no one hasn't done it so far. At least they've contributed many ideas. Let's be clear on that, but they haven't done any pushes to my repository. But if you do, I mean, I think it's I would welcome that as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great. Then, yeah, everyone out there never see this project, have a look. It's worth if you're a little bit deeper into DeFi chain, not just uh, first basic user of the Light Wallet. You can find a lot out how the pools work, what is happening there, big trades, and so on. You mentioned Telegram group is also available. Get in contact to you if you have questions. How does it work? Is there a feature like this or that? And then you can help or the others in the group. And I think the one or other heavy users are out there. I saw a lot of people a little bit disappointed after the rejection of the last CFP because they said, here, big project, I need it. I need further features. So I think you have your users. I don't know how many, but the one or other is out there and yeah, using it.
Maybe you can share a little bit about it. I don't know actually user counts, but I do count connections. So it
Mm-hmm.
usually peaks around 80 because there is a WebSocket connection, around 80 active connections at the same time.
Okay,
Uh,
that's good.
but how many users it is, I don't know. And there's about 120 notifications active right now.
Hmm.
Many unique users are getting spammed by my notifications. So I mean, I'm quite happy with the amount of usage that it's getting. It's also getting me in trouble a bit now because it's getting to the point where I need to upgrade some things. So some decisions to make on what to do there.
Hmm.
Hence the maintenance CFP, which would help me out. Scaling up a little bit, having some redundancy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just need a few more servers, I would guess, to run it real smooth from here on.
Okay, good. Then, thanks for joining. Looking forward to see you maybe again in a couple of weeks or months. If your project is still running and maybe changing, growing, who knows what's happening here in DeFiChain. I know a lot of things can happen. We are really changing fast. 2 years ago, the DEX was pretty new and we don't had such a tool like yours. There was just this more or less yeah, hard to handle desktop wallet without any further information. Now we are getting more and more into details. For sure, not every tool is for everyone, but yeah, that's also the purpose of a big ecosystem, to have different tools for different purposes, and everyone gets what he wants. And for you, thank you to provide this tool to us, to the community. I'm really happy because now I can track the big swaps in a pretty easy way. And yeah, with this, thanks for joining, and see you again maybe in future.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I was happy to be here. I would happily do it again sometime in the future.
Great. Everyone out there, thanks for watching in live. If you are not watching live, also thank you, and please give us a like. This helps also the channel and your project. And then we see you again next week with the one or other news show, and I think we have a second rebuild show here on the channel. Have a nice weekend and see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.